Let me just try to wrap up where we were with PL 5150. Do you have any idea the cost of the process, what it took to get to the draft RMP EIS?
For the Central Yukon?
Yes.
I don't. It's in the millions of dollars, but I don't have the draft figure.
The 2020 draft RMP EIS cost the BLM a little over $5 million to produce. The final RMP EIS document says that it cost the lead agency, BLM, $6.7 million to produce. To kind of put that into perspective, the FY25 budget requests $28.8 million for the entire Alaska conveyance account. So you can see my frustration here. You've spent somewhere between $5 and $6 million of a $28 million entire budget, 10 years, and have gotten nowhere. And what you've told me is you have a manpower issue, which makes no sense to me that you would invest this money, invest this time, and then say, well, later. You made a commitment to me when you were before this committee 3 years ago, and you said, you have my commitment that I understand the job is to follow the law and that the federal government has commitments to the state of Alaska. You acknowledge those commitments to the state of Alaska. You know very well the Alaska Land Transfer Acceleration Act because I asked you about it then. I mentioned the report in 2009, the updated report in 2019, finding that the lifting of the vast majority of these withdrawals for the PLOs would be, quote, consistent with the protection of the public interests in these lands. Approximately 95% of these withdrawals would be that could be lifted are consistent with the protections of the public's interest. So you've got these findings, you've got the recommendation. I don't understand how the recommendation within the Central Yukon RMP to not lift any of the public land orders in that area is consistent with the act, consistent with your commitment to me that says, I get it, I know that the federal government has commitments to the state of Alaska, they're outlined in the law, and then 10 years, millions of dollars, and never mind, because that's where we're feeling like we are right now.
Senator, I'm going to get back for the record for you the budget question. It's my understanding that the Central Yukon RMP budget came out of our planning budget, not the conveyance budget.
So whether it came out of the conveyance budget or the planning budget,
Yep.
You've spent millions of dollars,
Yep.
10 years, and you've gotten nowhere. The last thing that I would like from you is in her hearing on May 8th, Secretary Holland was before this committee, and in response to me, on the Ambler Road, she promised that she would, quote, be happy to follow up with me on specific legal justifications. I asked the Secretary to provide, to make clear where it says that the access is superseded, Ambler's access is superseded by general right-of-way authorities for BLM provided by FLTMA. So, as a lawyer, I looked at that and said, that makes no sense to me. So I asked her, give me the specific legal justification. She said, happy to follow up. That was over a month ago. Can you give me that analysis that the Secretary promised?
Senator, the legal underpinnings, especially on our 810 requirements under ANILCA for subsistence, are going to be outlined and documented in the record of decision, which is forthcoming.
Well, it seems to me that when I asked the Secretary and she says, I will be happy to follow up with me on specific legal justifications, I don't feel like I should have to wait until I get a final record of decision to understand that. I think I had a commitment from the Secretary, as I think I had a commitment from you 3 years ago, and I don't think that either one of you are following up on it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator